That should have been the last section that you come and try to detain me.
I'll put you in this position, okay? If you're going to listen to me.
No, I'm not, unless you introduce yourself properly.
So you're detained, okay, for a stop search under section. So section 43, Terrorism Act.
Who are you?
As I said, I'm PC Daniel Harris.
Welcome back to Police Pulse UK. If you're new here, hit subscribe and join the family. Drop a like, leave a comment, and let's get straight into it. This episode is sponsored by Yardley Ski Auditing. Please check the link below and subscribe to his channel to support his work. In this episode, Auditor Yardley Ski goes to a public police event to film the building from outside before it begins. Suddenly, police officers come out and stop him within seconds. They search him using a law called Section 43 of the Terrorism Act, but their reasons for doing so are weak and hard to justify. This is a clear example of police abusing their power. However, the auditor stands his ground and does not give up.
Hello sir, you okay? Hello sir, you okay? Can you tell me your name please? Why can't you tell me your name? Okay, is there a reason why you're
You filming me?
Is there a reason why you're
filming? Are you filming me?
Yeah, I am, sir.
Yeah, well, tell me that you're filming me, yeah? Introduce yourself properly.
Okay.
Go on then.
No, I'm just wondering
Introduce yourself properly.
You're going to listen to me?
No, I'm not, unless you introduce yourself
so
properly.
You're detained, okay, for a stop search under Section 43 of the Terrorism Act, okay?
You're joking. You must be joking.
My name's PC Harris.
Hold on. What information have you got to call me a terrorist?
So this is the legal bit.
What information you got to call me a terrorist? What information have you got to call me a terrorist?
I can't explain it until if you overtalk me, okay?
Go on then.
If you let me talk,
I'll overtalk you anyway. Well, go on then.
You, okay?
Go on then, just
that's
explain.
The legal stuff I need to get out.
Go on then, get the legal stuff out of the way.
As I am searching you.
Go on then.
So, Section 43, Terrorism Act.
Who are you?
As I said, I'm PC Daniel Harris from Colindale Police Station.
It is truly shocking how quickly the officer decides to detain the auditor. Without properly introducing himself or asking any basic questions first, the officer immediately says that the auditor is being stopped and searched under the Terrorism Act. This shows very poor policing. It seems like the officer had already made up his mind before even talking to the auditor, which is a sign of bias, not proper police work. Section 43 of the Terrorism Act can only be used when there is a good reason to believe someone is involved in terrorism. Just standing in a public place and filming a building is nowhere near enough reason to use this law. The officer should have first asked some simple questions, explained what his concerns were, and properly decided whether there was any real threat before taking any action.
The reason I'm searching you, the reason I am going to search you, is because we've been called here by people in security. Yeah. You're filming a significant parade today for the Metropolitan Police Service.
It's a public parade.
You're also filming buildings.
Is it a public parade?
You're also filming buildings.
It's a public parade, yeah? And I'm on a public pavement, yeah?
Security cameras and gates.
Okay, I'm on a public pavement as well.
So for that reason, okay.
Can't you film in public?
Sorry?
Can you film in public?
Yeah, you can film in public.
Cheers. Well, that's what I'm doing.
However, you are.
And you didn't come and ask me anything. You just come up to me and detain me under a terrorist act. But you haven't. No, but you're supposed to question me and ask me why I'm here. So you're just gonna just because filming in public is not a crime.
I told you why.
Filming in public is not a crime.
I'm going to search you now, sir.
Go on then.
Okay, you are entitled.
Right. No. I'm going to put it down.
I'll put it down on the floor there, sir.
Good policing means talking to people, understanding the situation, and collecting information before deciding to stop or search someone. In this case, the officer skipped the most important step, which is communication. If the officer had simply walked up to the auditor, asked a few questions, and listened to his answers, the whole situation could have been resolved peacefully without any detention. This kind of bossy and aggressive attitude is not only unprofessional but also dangerous. Section 43 of the Terrorism Act exists to deal with real and serious security threats. It should not be used as an easy excuse to stop someone just because they are filming in a public place. Using this law in such a careless way is a misuse of the power given to police officers.
Can I pick up my camera?
Of course you can, sir.
So go on then, say that again.
I'm alright, thank you. You're not going to listen to me anyway.
Oh, no, I've got you on camera now. Now I can
I've been
rewind
on camera
it.
the whole time. You've had it down there.
Now I can rewind it again. Yeah, so...
I can't remember.
Yeah? Oh, you can't? Yeah? No. Oh, that's bad being a police officer. So when you go to court and the judge asks you for stuff, you'll turn around and say, I can't remember. Seconds after trying to give it all the big one. You must be a really corrupt police officer. You can't remember 2 seconds after saying something, yeah? Is that what you are as a police officer? You are a joker. Do you agree with me or don't you agree with me?
I'm just coming to assist.
Look, well, I'm just asking you a question, whether you're assisting or not. You're here.
Come out later.
Yeah,
so
I'm just saying. You heard what he
said.
said. You've been standing there, and he said that he
was
stopped me
there.
under. No, you just heard what he said just then.
I heard
Come on.
43 of the Terrorism
No,
Act.
you heard him say that they've said that I've been here before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is that a crime? Being here before filming? Do you think I should be stopped under section 43?
I don't know why he stopped you under section 43.
Okay.
You'll have to ask him.
Oh, well, he's not making much sense because he's already illegally detained me.
If there was a real terrorist threat, the second officer would have had no problem explaining why the auditor was stopped. But his confusion shows that even he did not see a good enough reason to justify the detention. This makes it clear that the first officer acted on impulse rather than on any real evidence. If there was a genuine threat, all the officers involved would have agreed on the reason for the stop. The fact that the second officer does not want to be associated with the decision suggests that the detention was more about showing authority than following the correct procedure. This is a clear example of how some officers make quick decisions without thinking about the legal reasons behind them or consulting their fellow officers first.
Why ain't your number on full display?
Sorry?
His number's not on full display.
Yes, it is on full display. You can see
Have a
his
look.
number on
Have a
his
look.
shoulder.
Have a look.
I can see it right now.
No, you can't.
3620.
No, that's because you know him.
It's right there.
Yeah. Well, I'm not looking there, am I? I'm not looking there. I'm looking here. I'm looking here.
Don't
Look.
get too close, please.
Oh, don't get too close. Why not?
Because
You
it's
was
my
close and
business.
personal.
I'm just trying to write this out.
I'm
Threatening?
writing you a letter
I've
thing
got
right
a
now.
camera. Is that a threatening thing?
You don't know what
Well, I'm
looks
telling
threatening
you,
to
I
different
am not
people.
threatening anybody.
Okay, right.
Okay?
You've got it written down on a piece of paper.
But I'm telling you, I cannot see it.
Okay, well maybe you should get some glasses then.
Oh, you're being discriminative
So
now.
I've got a couple of,
Are you being discriminative?
sir,
What are you being discriminative? But I should get some glasses. No, don't tell me I should get glasses.
Just
Don't,
pay
oh my
attention.
God,
He's
me
written your
either.
slip now.
Don't start getting ignorant.
An officer's shoulder number is a very important part of police accountability. It should always be clearly visible so that members of the public can identify officers, especially when they feel their rights have been violated. Instead of fixing this issue or taking it seriously, the female officer chooses to make fun of the auditor. The auditor had just been stopped and searched on very weak grounds. At this point, the least anyone would expect is for the officers to act with some understanding and professionalism. Instead, the female officer responds with rude and sarcastic comments, completely dismissing the auditor's concerns. When someone feels their rights have been abused, they deserve to be treated with dignity and respect, not mockery. This is not just a small mistake in judgment. It shows an attitude that has no place in professional policing.
You illegally touched me up, yeah, which I totally feel degraded.
If you want to argue about it after, I'm not going to argue
There's
about
no
what
argument.
I've written or
There isn't
anything.
an
You're going
argument.
to try and catch me out, whatever.
No, there's no argument.
You're free to walk around here, as I said, in the public. So if you want to film the
So
parade,
why wasn't that said?
I'm happy now who you are. There's nothing that we need to be unhappy with, or the security team are unhappy with.
You know you messed up, don't you? I mean, 43.
I haven't messed up,
Come
sir.
on, 43.
I haven't messed up.
That is ridiculous. That's so ridiculous.
You might think so.
It is.
But
How many terrorists have you actually caught walking around covertly filming? By the way, yeah, in its very nature,
It's a
in its very
significant building
nature,
on a significant
right?
day, sir.
Hostile reconnaissance under Section 43 is overt filming. Yeah, and I'm covertly filming. I've got my camera out. I'm in a public place. That should have been the last section that you come and try to detain
in this
me.
position, okay? If you were one of the security guards, they're protecting this parade today.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you do?
I'd have to observe. I'd have to sit there and
Okay,
look.
I think that's
You
what they've
can't.
done.
No,
Obviously,
they
my
haven't
colleague's
done
going
it.
to speak to them.
I haven't been over
I
there.
haven't been here,
But I haven't
so I
been
don't
over there. I haven't acknowledged them at all.
When the auditor questions the officer about the weak reasons for his detention, the officer tries to avoid taking responsibility by asking, "If you were the security, what would you do?" This clearly shows that the officer is relying on what a security guard told him rather than making his own judgment. Just because a security guard raised a concern does not automatically mean there is a good enough reason to suspect terrorism. This is exactly where the officer should have used his own thinking and investigative skills. The job of the police is not to blindly follow what security staff say, but to look at the situation independently and make their own decision. A security guard may feel uncomfortable seeing someone filming, but that feeling alone does not meet the legal standard needed to detain someone under Section 43 of the Terrorism Act. The fact that the officer could not tell the difference between a security guard's discomfort and an actual terrorist threat shows poor training and a lack of critical thinking.
I've been here about a minute and you came a minute after. I didn't go over there. They didn't see what I was doing. They saw me filming, which I'm lawfully able to film. Yeah, legally. So they shouldn't be doing anything.
As I said to you,
Security isn't there to get people detained under Section 43.
As I said, you are perfectly right in saying you can film, and that's not a problem.
Yeah, so that's what they should have been told. Why have you come and you've literally come, as I've said, you've defiled me, you've searched me, you searched under me groin and everything like that, yeah?
Search the belt line, sir.
Well, did you search my legs?
Yeah, I did search
well, that's
your legs.
under me groin.
Okay.
Anyway, right? And I feel humiliated about that because I've done nothing
if
wrong.
You feel humiliated. I don't want to make you feel humiliated. And if I did do that, then I apologise. As I say, if you wish to complain,
No, but by detaining
I've
me,
given you all the reference numbers that you need. As I say, the full form is going to be completed as soon as I get back to the police station. So if you want to complain about it, by all means do.
it's literally coming up to me. And although you might said that I was being evasive or whatever the word you used, evasive, yeah, right? Do I have to answer any of your questions?
Sorry?
Do I have to answer any of your questions?
You don't have to. It's your
Okay,
opinion.
okay,
It's
no,
the
but-
same with the name and address, sir. You haven't given me your name and
But
address.
I don't have to.
That's fine.
but
And I haven't questioned
By
you about
law,
that.
do I have to?
But I haven't
No,
questioned
but I'm
you about
asking
that,
you,
have I?
by law, do I
you
have to
haven't-
answer you?
You've not given me your name and address, which is fine. It's absolutely fine. I will still.
So
put
why
on the
didn't you
form
just continue it
regardless.
that way?
So-
You shouldn't be doing this, or you
because-
can be doing this. I mean, I'm legally, lawfully able to film, yeah? Regardless if I want to answer you or not. That's my
as I said,
prerogative.
you
This
can.
is England.
Yeah, as I said, you can film. I've got no issue.
Yeah, but that's what you should have come along in the very beginning. I should not have been detained. You're not understanding what I'm saying. You've come along, right, with the simple fact of detaining me under Section 43.
No, there's more
yeah,
than that,
because,
sir.
well, how long did you take to try to
I need-
establish whether Section 43 was...
How long would you need?
Well, more than what you done. You was there for about a minute, if that, trying to get me to say something.
I was asking you questions.
And then I asked you if you're
were
filming
here,
me,
what
right?
your name
And then
was,
and then
what's your
you should have been. Yeah, but
intentions. I was asking you several questions.
what's my name was and what's my intentions?
Yeah, and why
but
you
do I
were
have to
here.
do I have to tell you that?
When the auditor challenges the officer by pointing out that he detained him almost instantly under Section 43, and asks how long he took to establish the grounds for it, the officer simply replies, "How long would you need?" instead of giving a proper answer. This response is not just dismissive, it actually reveals a lot about how the officer thinks. It shows that the officer did not take any time to think about the situation, gather information, or properly assess whether there was a real reason to detain the auditor. In reality, using Section 43 requires more than just a vague feeling of discomfort or the fact that someone did not immediately give their name. The officer's reply also shows a lack of professionalism and accountability. Rather than admitting that he acted too quickly, he turns the question back on the auditor as if acting fast automatically makes the detention justified. This way of thinking is very problematic because it shows how some officers treat detention as an automatic reaction rather than a careful and considered decision.
Do I have to give you that
I
information?
was trying to find out why you were here, sir.
No, you was trying to oppress me, right?
Because
Because I'm doing it lawfully.
For example, if
I'm
you'd
not
been
doing
a-
anything wrong. I didn't commit a criminal act.
For example, if you'd been a family member here today, they didn't have a ticket, for example, and you were here and you said, "Look, I'm a family member," blah, 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 then I.
But I'm not.
Right. Okay.
I'm a member of the public,
Yeah.
lawfully filming, which I can do.
Yes, and I've just
Well
said there's
then, so
nothing
why
wrong
would you
lawfully
come up
doing
to me and stop me under Section
it. As I
43?
say, I've explained on the slip.
I'm not a terrorist, never would be a terrorist.
Why I've done it, and I'm going to add some more to my electronic form, which I do back at the police
Apology, you're going to add an apology to that you shouldn't have stopped me under Section 43?
No, because I
That you
believe in my
realised
grounds,
later
I
on
believe
that,
it was a
sec-
legitimate search.
Say that again?
I said it was a legitimate search, and I
Did
believe
you
it
have
was
any
a legitimate
credible
search.
information that I could
Did
be
have
in the
credible-
tele...
I did, sir.
What
So-
credible information
Can't
was
tell
that?
you everything, sir.
You've
because
got
it's
no
all-
credible information about me.
When the auditor reasonably asks for an apology after being stopped under Section 43 of the Terrorism Act, the officer immediately refuses and insists that the search was fully justified. This refusal to even consider the possibility that he was wrong shows a stubborn unwillingness to take responsibility. Instead of honestly thinking about whether the grounds for detention were valid, the officer stands firmly by his decision, as if admitting a mistake would somehow make him look weak or damage his authority. When the auditor pushes further and asks what credible information the officer actually had, the officer simply replies, "I can't tell you everything." This is a clear attempt to avoid giving a proper answer. It is a classic way of dodging accountability when there is no real explanation to give. The response, "I can't tell you everything," is not just vague, it is basically an admission that the officer either had no solid reason for the detention or is simply unwilling to admit that he acted on impulse without proper grounds. Either way, it is completely unacceptable behavior from someone who is supposed to uphold the law.
The only credible information you could have known about me is that I was out here filming. You wouldn't know me from Adam.
No, there's a little bit more than that. I can't go into it. As I say, if you wish to complain,
There's
you've got
no
everything you
more
need.
to it.
Anyway,
And
sir,
the security are
have a good
aware
day.
that you're filming. They'll
Stop
let
being
you-
discriminative and stop telling people to wear glasses.
Sir,
Right,
nice to meet
yeah.
you. Take care. Thank you.
This final moment perfectly sums up how the entire encounter was filled with poor decisions and bad judgment by the officers. After all the aggressive behavior, threats, and weak excuses, they eventually had to back down, which proved that the auditor was right all along. The biggest failure was how quickly the lead officer detained the auditor under Section 43 of the Terrorism Act without doing any proper investigation. Instead of taking the time to assess the situation, he jumped straight to detention after only asking the auditor's name. That is nowhere near enough to justify such a serious action. This was not just a simple mistake. It was a clear misuse of anti-terror powers to show control rather than to deal with any real threat. When the auditor questioned his reasoning, the officer's vague reply of "I can't tell you everything" only made it obvious that he had no solid grounds for the detention in the first place. Just as troubling was the behavior of the female officer, who made rude and dismissive comments throughout the encounter. Instead of properly addressing the auditor's valid concern about her shoulder number not being visible, she sarcastically suggested he needed glasses. This kind of unprofessional attitude only made things worse instead of calming the situation down. It seemed as though the officers could not handle being questioned and responded with pettiness rather than professionalism. One of the most telling moments was when the second officer openly admitted that he did not understand why his colleague had detained the auditor under Section 43. If there had truly been a real terrorist threat, the reason for the detention would have been clear to everyone involved. Instead, the confusion between the officers made it obvious that the detention was more about ego and control than about properly enforcing the law. In the end, the officers walking away and admitting that security would allow the filming only confirmed that the whole situation was